Hi, Joy. What you doing? Hi. Hi.
Huh?
Hi.
Oh, hello. I was reading a book and then I fell asleep.
What is this book about?
It's about the dinosaur. A duck-billed dinosaur. Its story is called Tyrannosaurus strip. Because it's a duck-bill and then the egg roll into their nest and then they thought it was something else and not the duck-bill. They like to eat the duck-bill dinosaur like this one.
Is it the fun story?
A fun story, kind of funny at the end, not really funny at the start.
So is this a good book to recommend?
Yeah. I'm gonna read. In this
How about the author?
I don't know which one, but I think it's one of them. I think it's Julia Donaldson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
famous.
The author of the Gruffalo.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll start. In a swamp beside the river, where the land was thick with veg, lived a herd of duck-billed dinosaurs
Oh.
who roamed the water's edge. And they hooted up with rivers, and they hooted up with reeds, and they hooted up with bellyfuls of juicy water weeds. Now, across the rushy river, on a hill the other side, lived a Tyrannosaurus with his grim and grisly bride. And they shouted up with hunting, and they shouted up with war, and they shouted up with bellyfuls of duck-billed dinosaurs. There's one. You can see they ate because you can see the bone. Like this one, see the head is long and then this one head is long.
Very scary.
Yes, and look at this one. Silly eyes. But the two Tyrannosaurus, so grisly, mean, and grim, couldn't catch the duck-billed dinosaurs because they couldn't swim. They muttered, "Down with water," and they muttered, "Down with wet," and they muttered, "What a shame that bridges aren't invented yet." So if they cannot swim, so they cannot cross, and the duck-bills stay in water.
Oh, they are safe.
Now a little whatever that word is, but for short we'll call her Comb, found a duck-bill egg and stole it from a nest beside the swamp. And she swam with it and ran with it, and she murmured, "Clever me!" And won't the baby Combs be through with a duck-bill egg for tea? She dropped the egg in terror and ran running for her life from the mean Tyrannosaurus and his grim and grisly wife.
Wow.
Well, tooth. Look, tooth. This one, tooth.
Yeah.
It had a hole in it. And the duck-bill egg went rolling, and at last it came to rest in all unlikely places, a Tyrannosaurus nest. Oh, this one is the egg. You see how different? This one is yellowish, this one is blue. Now the mother tea had great jaws and enormous legs, but her brain was rather little and she couldn't count her eggs. And she sang, "Hatch out my little terrors, with your scaly little tails and your spiky little toothies and your scary little nails." This one. This one.
I love this one.
This is blue. Out hatched babies 1 and 2, as perfect as could be. But Mother T was horrified by baby number 3, as she grumbled. He looks weedy, as she grumbled. He looks weak, as she grumbled. What long arms, and look, his mouth is like a beak. Well, I think it looks like a hammer or something.
Yeah.
He just needs feeding up, said Dad, and gave the baby some meat. But the 2 gulped and guzzled, but the 3rd refused to eat. And he said, I'm really sorry. And he said, I simply can't. And he said, this meat looks horrible. I'd rather eat a plant. Because duck-bills eat plants. No, not meat. A plant, yelled Mom in horror, and Dad said, get a grip. His sisters found a name for him, Tyrannosaurus Drip. And they shouted up with hunting, and they shouted up with war, and they shouted up with bellyfuls of duck-billed dinosaur.
Oh.
Poor Tyrannosaurus Drip tried hard to sing along, but the others yelled, you silly Drip, you've got all the words wrong. For he hooted, down with hunting, and he hooted, down with war, and he hooted, down with bellyfuls of duck-billed dinosaur. Because he's the opposite.
Yes.
Eat bugs, look.
Oh. Someone is watching.
Everything is black because the plants are black because they don't water them. No water. Drip's sisters soon grew big enough to hunt with Mom and Dad, but they turned on Drip and told him, you are not fierce enough to come, and he cried. They have gone without me, and he cried. Alackaday, and he cried. This doesn't feel like home. I'm going to run away. So he ran off to the river, and he saw a lovely sight. A herd of duck-billed dinosaurs, all hooting with delight. And they hooted up with rivers, and they hooted up with reeds, and they hooted up with bellyfuls of juicy water weeds. Because this one is this one.
Yeah, they're the same type.
As he stood there on the bank, a sudden urge took hold of him, and he jumped into the water and discovered he could swim. As duckbills came to greet him by the rushy river's edge, they hooted, nice to see you, and they hooted, have some veg, because they eat vegetables. And Drip, who was delighted that they hadn't run away, ate bellyfuls of water weeds and played with them all day. Then he gazed into the river and asked them, who is that creature in the water? And they laughed and said, it's you. Look! Come. No, it's looking at this one because this one is the egg he stole. And then, yeah.
This is the one.
That night the lightning crackled and the storm blew down a tree and it fell across the river, and the T's shout, yippee!
Yippee!
Because they can cross.
Oh, yes.
Uh-oh.
Find a way.
Look. He's like, wah! And they shouted up with hunting, and they shouted up with war, and they shouted up with bellyfuls of duck-billed dinosaur.
Oh,
Ah.
dangerous.
Drip's sister stepped onto the bridge, but began to frown. Then, in front of them stood Drip, who yelled, "Look out! Look down!" Whoa. And they looked into the water, and they each let out a yelp. One cried, "Water monsters!" and the other cried, "Help!" It's just actually the reflection. What's so scary about your reflection? Everybody has a reflection when you look at the water. Their mother scolded, "Nonsense," and she joined them on the tree. And she looked into the water and exclaimed, "Good gracious me!" Even this one is scared. The three of them stood trembling, and Dad said, "Get a grip. You're all of you as drippy as Tyrannosaurus drip." He strode onto the bridge and scoffed, "I bet there's nothing there." Then he looked into the water and he jumped into the air. Guess what's gonna happen?
Don't know.
The tree's gonna snap.
Oh.
And how the duckbills hooted when he landed with a crash, and the tree bridge broke. And 4 Tyrannosaurus went splash. Too bad they can't swim. And spluttering and clanging the branches of the tree, they went whooshing down the waterfall and all the way to sea.
Ooh, are they going to die?
They'll drown, I think, because they don't know how to swim. Last page. And the duckbills hooted happily. They hooted, "Hip, hip, hip, hooray for the heroic one and only duckbill dread." This one. I think they look like kind of the squid mouth. Squid mouth. I want to eat it. This one. It actually rhymes.
Yes.
Oh, comments at the back of the book. The roaring, hooting monster success of the season. The Times.
Then what is our comment?
I think it's a really good book because it doesn't have much words. It's a few sentences here and a few here. And the pictures are good. The tree is realistic.